Welcome back, YouTube. Hope everyone is doing well. So it is Tuesday, the 24th of June. We are currently 5 days out. So this should be peak week. However, it's a little bit different this time around because we're chasing a bit more of a harder, grainier look. So essentially we aren't pushing foods up from 5-6 days out. We are actually not necessarily trying to chase a little bit more fat loss, but trying to just bring our kind of glycogen ceiling down slightly, essentially. So what I mean by that is when you push carbs obviously early within the week, you're kind of not as insulin sensitive when it matters. So essentially we are holding back and just trying to get scale weight down a little bit more. So currently 154.8 as of this morning, and trying to get down to around about a 153, 152. So making a few changes with foods today. I've actually reduced carbs by 40 or 50 grams. So basically no carbs with 2 meals today. My evening meal, which would have been chicken and rice and broccoli, is now just chicken and broccoli and a bit of dark chocolate. So again, just trying to, I think I'm fine with this. Like, I'm so close to being done now that doesn't really matter. We've kind of indirectly again dropped a lot of fatigue over the past couple of weeks since the last show by bringing steps down to 6K, and kept training the same throughout this whole process in between shows, just to kind of bring a little bit more fullness. I think when you do back off slightly, especially when you are in a deficit this deep, you need a little bit more stimulus than just doing like devolume or deload sessions. So just obviously trying to hold on to that muscle to keep the fullness, to keep the pop, when obviously we do step on stage on Sunday, 5 days time. But yeah, looking forward to it. Like, it's the last one, and like I've said to you in maybe a previous video or Instagram, there's so much less stress. Well, there's no stress or pressure at all, if I'm being honest, in this next show. Like, I'm just looking forward to it. It doesn't actually feel like I'm competing, I think, because we're going away next week as well, and I've got a photo shoot on Sunday for myself. There's so many things going on. I'm kind of almost forgetting about that I'm competing, which might actually be a good thing. Obviously, I'm still very much in the mindset that I want to win. But like I say, with winning the last show, there is a lot of pressure and stress off it. If I hadn't have won, or even came second in the first, I would be like, I need to do well in this show. Whereas I'm genuinely just going to go in and enjoy it again, like I have done with the first 2 shows, but even more so now. So yeah, loads of pressure and stress off. I think that is definitely working in my favour. My sleep's been good. Minus the injury last Tuesday, that's still a little bit sore. It's not affecting training or posing at all. But I am waking up every morning, like having lay on it all night, feeling very stiff. But as soon as I get moving, it's pretty good. So yeah, baseline and slight reduction in kind of overall carbs today. 8,000 steps today as well. So we are pushing steps a little bit more just to get activity and expenditure up a tiny bit, just to kind of get that scale weight down. Because essentially the lower that we can get my scale weight, the more beneficial and productive the actual peak will be when foods do go up. So in terms of carbohydrates, when after you've had like a refeed, or even you've been dieting, you've had like an off-plan meal, and you go for a gym session the next day and you feel like your skin's going to burst. Like, we want to try and kind of get that pop and pump replicated on stage come Sunday. So it's all just about smart timing, and this is why peaks are so individual for each person. Like, you can't pre-plan a peak. It has to be subjective. It has to be kind of objective and subjective to data that you've got in front of you. So yeah, training push 1 today, which I'm going to take you with me. And yeah, just finish off check-ins for the day. A few more tasks to do from a workload front, and then we're going to get after it in the gym. But yeah, looking forward to it. I'll give you a physique update in the gym as well. I'm not kind of hiding that anymore. I'll put it on Instagram as well, because at the start you get in your head a little bit too much, but I'm not really too bothered anymore. It was more for like, I don't know, I just didn't want to post too much because it just seemed like I was just comparing to other people and comparing myself from week to week, and I was like, there's not much changing, but I feel good and I look good at the minute, so I'll give you a physique update in the gym. And you've caught me doing my favourite job. Vitamin stack, putting them all into this. Again, I've talked about this before many times on this channel, but make things easy. Like, I've got all them supplements that you've just seen, and if you buy a £2 pill dispenser, put them in for what days you need it. I've got AM and PM because I have a morning stack and a evening stack, and it just makes life so much easier. Yes, it takes maybe less than 5 minutes now, once every week, but then it's done for the rest of the week. So get yourself one of these. Another thing I just wanted to touch on quickly as well. I'm always very skeptical about having time off from work purely on the basis that I enjoy my work so much, and even when I've been on holidays in the past, I still work because it doesn't feel like work to me. It's enjoyable. Like, I'm helping people change their lives, become the best versions of themselves. Yes, I know you've heard all that before, but I always work on holiday. Whereas, like I've mentioned just prior to this segment, Hannah and I are going away on holiday next week to Malaga, which will be 3 days after the last show, 2 days after the shoot, which I'm really looking forward. Well, we're both really looking forward to, and it's going to be a different kind of holiday because we've not been away in pretty much like a year. We've not had any date nights in a year. Well, maybe less than a year. But yeah, you get the picture. We've not done much as a couple for a long time that's like a holiday or a date night or a city break or anything like that. So this holiday isn't only going to be like, obviously everyone's always excited for holidays, but this holiday I know for a fact is going to hit different. So yeah, really looking forward to that. But I always, and I never really do, to be fair, so it's always scary when I tell clients that I will not be doing Loom video check-ins next week. I've put the message in the group chat this morning, and I just wanted to say that my team are the best team that I could possibly wish to work with. They're all so understanding. I think, like, when I put a message in, I recorded a Loom video and just said, "Hi guys, thank you blah 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 for everything so far this year. Just letting you all know that there'll be no direct Loom video check-ins next week." And I always think, oh my god, people are going to think, well, he's a shit coach. I'm going to go to another coach who works 365 days of the year. And you always have that kind of imposter syndrome thought in your head, like, oh my god, should I be having time off? And they've all been so understanding. And I've even said still, like, some people are like kind of back end of their diets, that if there's any kind of like urgent changes that I feel like need to be made, I'm still going to voice no. I will never, until I stop doing this job, will switch off from work, and that's purely on the basis that I love it and I care about the people that I work with a lot. But I won't be doing like direct Loom video check-ins next week, purely just because it's been a very hectic year, and I just want to be present as much as I can on a holiday without having to worry about running back to the room to do check-ins, which I will be doing on our next holiday. Don't worry guys, I still graft. But for this holiday, I just wanted to be a little bit more present and actually just kind of switch off a little bit from work mode, because that can only benefit myself, because I'm going to feel recharged and refreshed and ready to get after it again when we get back. But then in turn, that's also going to give my clients a much better version of me, which at the end of the day is what they want and what I want for them. So yeah, I'm still going to be replying to people, of course. I can never not do that. And like I say, if there's any like drastic changes that need to be made within their check-in, I've still asked them to check in for me, then I will do it. Because again, it's not like I said to them on the video, like it's not like I need to get away from you guys. I need to kind of switch off fully. I love all my team. I love all the progress that they're making. It's just so I can provide a much better service for when I come back, basically. But like I say, they'll still get something from me, even if it's just, we're all good to go again this week, mate, leave things as they are. So yeah, but I always get scared about, saying that I'm going to be having a bit of time off, even though it's just a week, and even though I've probably not worked for over a year. Even when we went to Florida last year, I still worked. But yeah, there's always that little bit of skepticism when you're self-employed. It's hard, and I'm going to do a video about this in the future about online coach kind of expectations versus reality, because I think that'll be a good insight for you guys. Because there's a lot, as I'm sure some of you may know, being self-employed comes like at a very high amount of stress, and it's a heavy weight on your shoulders, because essentially you are your own business, of course. So everything that kind of comes in or goes out of the business, whether that be clients coming in, clients leaving, it adds a lot of kind of stress and pressure to your whole life. So this is why I always just want to provide the best that I can. So yeah, a little ramble there, but if you are a coach or a PT watching this, I'm telling you now from experience of 5 years, you do need time to kind of switch off and wind down as well. 1 week of the year out of 52 weeks to give your clients a better 51 weeks for the rest of the year is not a bad thing. It's only benefiting them as well. Welcome back YouTube, some very exciting news today. So obviously over the past year or so, Inception, a YouTube on a YouTube. So just a quick debrief. I am now going to be posting twice per week, which is exciting, and I already feel excited from this. I really enjoy making the YouTubes, but as I've mentioned in this video that you're going to see next week, I'm going to be doing one kind of educational piece of content per week, which is going to be obviously useful for anyone on like physique development journeys, and then still continue with my kind of vlog style of videos as well. So keep your eye out for these. These will be posted every Tuesday or Wednesday, and then the vlog ones will be every kind of Sunday or Monday. And I think this is just to give a bit of a mix to inside my life for the vlog style, but then also more actionable things that people can take away, because essentially it's all well and good, and I mentioned in this video that I do, I drop the odd knowledge bomb throughout these vlogs, but I want there to be a kind of series almost on my YouTube channel where it's like, I'm really struggling with my nutrition or my training or my sleep, and then you can go, you viewers can go to that video and watch it. So essentially it's going to be educational and lifestyle. So I'm really looking forward to this next kind of transition. And the reason why I've been holding off is obviously because I've been in prep, but I've got loads of energy this week, even though foods are coming down and it is like the back end of the diet. I'm getting that kind of love and passion back for putting more back into the business, and I'm really excited for the future of KJE really, which sounds a bit cringy, but if you're not excited about what you do, then what are you doing? So yeah, we're gonna go and get, well, I'm not gonna go and get actually because I still need to cook it, but I'm gonna go and put my pre-workout chicken, rice and broccoli on, and then we're going to get back to some more work. Okay guys, so we are on pre-workout meal. 100 grams of rice, 150 grams of chicken breast, and 100 grams of broccoli, and about 2 grams of salt, 20 grams of dark chocolate going in. I'm just going to watch a little bit of YouTube with this, and head over to the gym for a push and arm session, which you will be coming with me. Yeah, I'm hungry, and this is going to be the same tea later but without the rice, which is very, very sad. But needs must, 5 days to go. This is the Tesco attire. I've been actually driving, and it's so lazy this, but I've been driving to Tesco recently because I've been on 6,000 steps. So I've just been easily getting 6,000 steps, even just in the gym basically. So I'm having to walk now I'm on 8,000, which is going to feel a shock to the system. And it's literally 3 minutes away. But that's a lot of steps. Anyway, off to Tesco we go. We've got the rucksack. We've got the Garfield bag. We mean business. A little bit windy out there. Food shop complete. And what I was thinking on the way back, and this is how my brain works, what an incredible invention the rucksack was. Someone must have just one day been carrying bags or bearing weight on their hands and thought, you know what, this could probably be bared on my back. Whoever invented the rucksack, thank you. Maybe Mr. Rook. Sack. Mr. Sack. Mr. Sack, I salute you. We have arrived at the gym. Like I say, pushing around session today. I'm not going to film the whole session because you've seen me train before, but we are starting off with the machine lateral raise. I was using the one that's behind you, which is the Atlantis machine lateral raise that you grip onto, but I always prefer taking my grip out of the equation when doing any exercise that I can really. So this just allows me to not be dependent on grip more than anything. And it just feels nice. I really get a good connection with this. So new weight, I'm gonna try and hit, ideally, 10 reps at least minimum, but it's quite heavy. think that was about 16. Nice. Notice how the intensity does not drop regardless of the volume. Peak weeks, back end of the diet. That is the standard of intensity you need if you want to keep hold of that muscle that you built in the building phase. Equally, that's the intensity you need if you want to build new muscle. It's as simple as that. Little physique check on 2 cameras. Let's see how we're looking. The lighting's always a bit hit and miss in here. Like, if it's a sunny day, which it's not, it can be quite good, but you've got the artificial light and then the natural light. 2 in 1. I was wondering if you can see me all right there. Got my phone here, you guys here. Little physique update. Let's see how we're looking. As I wear baggy clothes like this, I don't even look like I lift. When I take this off, I still don't look like I lift. And then when I take the vest off, I look like I might have trained once or twice. Possibly, who knows? I'll let you decide anyway. Sweaty. rig update complete. I really need to start practicing my routine because it's quite a bit different from the first two shows with the PCA poses. If anyone thinks why you're doing overhead bicep, rear and front with your hands open like gun fingers, apparently it's the rules. It doesn't look the best. I think it looks a bit silly. Look like a bit of a cowboy, but rules are rules. It's like this. As opposed to this. I don't make the rules, man.
Browser, bear with me.
Alright, no worries. And we're making it on the YouTube as well.
Just wrapped up a lovely podcast with Denny and Max, who are two coaches. Denny is a competitor who I competed against in both of my first shows, UK DFBA and WMBF. And, you know, it's funny, isn't it? It kind of goes full circle almost. Like, Denny, if you remember from, I don't know if you watched the first prep video, peak week number 1, but within that, Hannah and I were speaking about how I'd found someone on Instagram, not purposefully, but just popped up on my feed, and Denny was actually the guy that was like, oh shit, he looks fucking sick. And that's when I got in my own head too much within the first peak. And now we've just done a podcast together. It's funny how it works out, life. But yeah, two really, really good guys, two amazing coaches. Go over and check their channels out. They are both on my Instagram currently. And that is me done for the day. Hannah is out meeting a friend tonight at the Trafford Centre. So it is a chill night for me with meal number 4 on the cards very soon, which I will show you. Is a very sad, lonely portion of chicken breast, broccoli, and a bit of dark chocolate. Carbs have been taken from this meal. Again, just trying to, like I said to you this morning, basically trying to fill the tank so it is perfect come Sunday and not overdo it early on. Because like I say, you can kind of, that upper ceiling of the glycogen stores can be topped up too early sometimes. So yeah, I'm not really too bothered. I'm really not actually thinking about food at all. For the past few weeks, to be fair, I've not really been food focused at all, and that's one of my biggest, I'd say, advantages this prep, is I've not really been thinking too much. Don't get me wrong, there's been a few days where I've been like, when's the next meal? Oh, I can't wait for that next meal. But generally, as I'm keeping busier now again, I've had a bit of second wind this week. Like, obviously the podcast just now, filmed 2 YouTubes today, including this one, training, check-ins, like I'm busy again. I feel like maybe there was a bit of a quieter time a week or 2 ago where I wasn't actively looking to be busy. I was just sitting on the sofa and just thinking about food, whereas now I'm just, again, this is one of the tips that I've picked up, is keep yourself busy if you are dieting. It will go quicker, the days will go quicker, and you will not be thinking about food. So yeah, I will show you my next meal and then we will slowly wrap this video up. Are you ready for this absolutely mouth-watering final, well, it's not my final meal actually, I've got oats later on, but evening meal. Ooh, chicken avec broccoli with 20 grams of dark chocolate. And obviously not all of that would be obscene. A few sips of that to wash it down. I'm going to be absolutely stuffed after this. I'm not sure my stomach's going to be able to handle it. Jokes aside, there's 5 days left. I'm really not arsed. It is not my normal evening meal. There's no rice, as you can see. But this is what is required when we are trying to dig for a different kind of look come Sunday. And hopefully that will show on stage Sunday. I'm really looking forward to Sunday, genuinely. We're not actually staying over this time. There'll be a show day YouTube, guys, so don't worry about that. But we're not driving down because it's in Derby, which is only like an hour and a half away. I'm going for my first coat of tan Saturday, driving back. So Hannah and I would drive normally anyway to the venue, hotel, whatever. But because my mum's coming to watch again my final show, shout out to my mum for being there for all of the shows, and of course Hannah. She would obviously be driving Sunday anyway, so we're going to jump in with her Sunday, and then it's just the same amount of driving, but without having to pay for a hotel, and also I can sleep in my own bed and have all my foods here, as opposed to taking it all with me. So again, one less stressor around the show. So yeah, I will not wrap this up just here. I'm going to show you my final meal as well. Hello again, guys. Final meal of the day, and it is 110 grams of oats, which is there. That just went another little thing to touch on before we wrap this up. I just went to 111, and of course, it's not going to break the bank. It probably won't make any difference, but if you want the best results, you do have to be relatively meticulous with things like that, and like, you know, that over time would add up, you know what I mean? If I did that every single day, that would be more across the space of the month. So yeah, then we're going for 40 grams of Perform Isolate Zero chocolate cream flavour. I do prefer the chocolate brownie one, but my dad got me that for my birthday because I did ask for that flavour, to be fair. And then 5 grams of creatine. Oh no, not 5 grams of creatine because it's been a training day. What am I on? 110 grams of oats, 40 grams of protein, 10 grams of dark chocolate, 150 grams of raspberries. And a little hack that I've recently discovered. And again, this is probably meticulous for most, but most aren't watching this. I used to just kind of tap water in there, put it in the microwave. Sometimes it would go too thick, sometimes it would go too thin in terms of the consistency. Whereas now, I always weigh out 380 grams of water. And then that not only gets my consistency of the oats right every single time, but also, just from like obviously with it being peak week, keeps my water intake standardized as well. So little things like this are essentially the requirements needed if you want to know exactly where you're at with your data. And like I say, for maybe the average Joe, that's a bit too much, but this is not average Joe kind of procedures. We are stepping on stage in 5 days, so you do have to be accurate. And it's, you know, anyone can do this. If you want to see a bit more consistency with things like your scale weight, you know, a lot of people get frustrated when the scales fluctuate as much as, you know, maybe they do. And one hack is monitor your water intake, and that's not just for how much you are literally drinking per day. You know, that's relatively easy to track. But you know, if you're having rice, how much water you're putting on your rice. If you're having oats, how much water you're putting in your oats. And it is very easily done. You can just put it on the scales and weigh it. You don't have to put it into like a measuring jug or anything like that. So that's a little hack that I can finish this video off with. Like I say, it's not a normal peak week, and I'm sorry that there's no kind of super pump or loads of foods going in or egg fried rice with breakfast, which was very nice in the previous peaks. But again, just running what is necessary. And again, this is always subject to change, especially when you're doing 3 shows kind of back to back with only, you know, 4, 5, 6 weeks in between one another, or all in together, I mean. You don't always need to kind of replicate the exact peak that you did first time, because the data that we go off is how the look was presented on stage, and we know that we can improve on that look yet again. Hence why the peak strategy this week is different. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. It's a bit of a different one, bit of a day in the life again, I guess, but peak has started, and yeah, like I say, not crazy changes this time around, but for the better purpose of bringing an improved look from WMBF to PCA Naturals on Sunday. So thank you for watching. The next video will be Kieran's photo shoot. The one after that will be show day. The one after that will be holiday. So thank you for watching. If you are a new listener, viewer, watcher, please hit that subscribe button. It does go a very long way. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.